Good morning, students. It's our chapter number 4, executive. Simply, we can say that executive means an organization who implement the rules, regulations, the policies framed or passed by the legislature. Now, some officers who takes and implement the decisions on the behalf of any organization or our government take decisions on the behalf of the citizens of the country. Similarly, an officer is needed to carry out some administration, management, a group of people, organizations who is effectively and actively uh, implement the rules and regulations, fulfill the desire, the demand of the citizens of that particular nation. Executive who are centrally or mainly a decision making organization, or we can say that chief executive, who carry out the implementation of the day to day life decisions and the other operations of that organization. And mainly it has three a government has three organs: the legislature, executive, and judiciary. The organ of the government that is mainly responsible for the implementation of the policies, programs, the rules and regulations, and the administration of the policy of decision making to fulfill the demand, to fulfill the desire of the citizens and give shape of the opinions, is known as executive. In other words, we can say that it is responsible for implementation of law and policies passed by the legislature or recommended. Sometimes the executive also recommend or may involve in the framing of the policies. It designated in uh, different in different countries, like in some countries it is known as president, king, pm, or the chancellor. It is a combined or compact form of president, prime minister, and the council of ministers. It also includes the administrators and the civil servants. The head of the government and the ministers overall responsible for the government policy are called the political executive, while the civil servants and the administratives are responsible to watch, to work, to implement the day to day life operations task, are called the permanent executive. Now, the two types of categories: the elected people or the elected representatives, they are fixed for a particular time period or tenure, is called the political executive. For example, our mps and mlas, they are known as the political executive. And the person who work on his post for a long time period till retirement, after giving the exam of civil services conducted by the UPSC and the State Civil Service Commission, they are called the political executive. They are called the permanent executive. They are responsible for the implementation of day-to-day life task, and also they give suggestions and recommendations to the political executive. The permanent executive help the political executive in conducting their day-to-day parliamentary task also. The dispute which is arise over here is whether the political executive is more powerful or the permanent executive is more powerful. So if we are talking about in a practical life, then definitely a political executive is more powerful. But for the implementation of rules and regulations and the public dealing, or according to the norms, the permanent executive is powerful. The civil servant and the permanent executive, they are more educated, they having expert knowledge in their own field. For example, the finance minister may have more enterprises of the finance that the minister himself. Still, however, it is the political executive which has the final authority on the decision making. Means the permanent executive give recommendations, suggestions, and make the full plan that how to deal the things, how to deal the problem, how to handle the issues, but the final and the main decision is of the political executive. Still, the political executive which has the final authority on the all decisions, so it is more powerful. In India, a democratic nation, mm, there is a demand of the citizens is more important, so the minister is answerable to the people, means the minister is accountable to the people. That is why the minister take all the final decisions, and according to this criteria we can say that the political executive is more powerful. Minister decides the all over framework, although he is not an expert. Means we have in practically we have few of our ministers, they are not educated, not much educated, and they have a major department. So for the help of that minister, the permanent executive is essential for the guidance, for the proper implementation of rules and regulations, for the data collection and other task. Here the minister take advice of experts on the technical matters, and depending upon the overall objectives, the ministers take the final policy decisions. The permanent executive is only work as an advisory. The final decision is in hand of the political executive. Hence, accordingly, we can say that the parliamentary democracy or the institution like India are headed by the president, who is the constitutional head of the state, and the executive. And the permanent executive is only a helping hand of that person. The real executive and the real authority is in the hand of the Council of Ministers, which is headed by the Prime Minister. Means under article number 74 of the Indian Constitution, the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers to add or advise the president. It provide it works, means the Prime Minister and his council always give advice, recommendations to the president. Sometimes forcefully the Council of Ministers and Prime Minister take initials on any bill. It is mandatory, after that it is mandatory for the president to accept the recommendations or the advice of the ministers and PM on money bill issue. He is not having so much powers. Means within 14 days he have to sign or give his initials on that money bill. Types of executive, if we are talking about the types of executive, there are three types of executive: the presidential system, the parliamentary system, and the semi presidential system. Means few of the powers, the state like Britain having queen, but she is not the ceremonial head there. The real executive is in the Council of Ministers and Prime Minister. They are responsible to the parliament. In if we are talking about America, then president is the real head of state as well as the real head of government. Canada, the parliamentary democracy with the Prime Minister, it is headed by the government, and head of the state is Queen Elizabeth II. In France, the president and the prime minister are the part of the semi-presidential system. The president appoints the council of ministers headed by the prime minister and cannot removed, as they are responsible for the parliament. Means here he is not able to take all the major decisions autonomously. In Russia, semi presidential system is going on, and president is the head of the state, and the prime minister appointed by the president is the head of the government. In Japan, there is a parliamentary system where the monarchy is the head of the state, and the prime minister is head of the government, etc. Now, the presidential form of government or the system. In this system, the president is the head of the state and the head of the government. The office of president is more powerful, which is based on the theory of separation of powers. For example, America, Brazil, etc. In the parliamentary system, like India, the head of the state can either be the monarch, if it is there, and a president, but he performs only the ceremonial functions, means the functions, the work which is recommended by the PM and his cabinet or council of ministers. The real executive authority is in the council of ministers, which is headed or controlled or lead by the prime minister, who is accountable for the parliament, who is responsible for the growth and development of the nation, and like India, Britain, etc. The semi-presidential system, in this system, the president and the prime minister, but unlike the parliamentary system, the president wield some significant powers. The president and the PM may sometimes be form the same party and at times may belong from the different parties and opposed each other, like France, Russia, and Sri Lanka. Now, the example of semi presidential form is Sri Lanka. It is a type of case study only that Sri Lankan government amended its law in 1978, and the system of presidential executive was introduced. According to this system, the presidential system, according to the Sri Lankan governmental system, executive was to be directly elected by the people, means the executive have the direct control over the people, and people directly suggest and give their recommendations to the executive. The president and the prime minister may belong to the same or even different political parties. The constitution provides the enormous powers to the president. He chooses the leader of majority as prime minister. The ministers must be the member of parliament. The president has power to remove them. It is the main point. And the prime minister. The president is the head of the state and the commander of the chief of the armed forces and head of the government also. He is elected, for 6 years and cannot be removed except by a resolution in the parliament passed by 2/3 of the total members majority purpose. In Indian constitution, the system is called impeachment. Okay. If the resolution is passed by not less than 1/2 of the total members of the parliament and the speaker is satisfied, so in that conditions it may be a merit inquiry that the speaker can report such matters to the Supreme Court. This system is called actually no confidence motion in Indian parliamentary system.